Well, welcome to another episode of the podcast, and here are your weekly joy tips. I started these a few weeks ago, and it's something that I send out to to some of my clients and some of my friends, these weekly joy tip texts, and I thought it would be a great idea to put them here in the podcast too. Just some quick snippets that you can listen to. So, and my hope is that I'll spread a little bit of joy to you and have some things that you can think about, some journaling prompts, and just some affirmations so that you can bring some joy into your life. I was listening to a call last night with my team, and just the epidemic of loneliness just continues to be prevalent. People feel isolated, they feel alone, and I find that sometimes when we can listen to somebody else's story or listen to a podcast that has something uplifting, or get together with some friends or go for coffee with our spouse, we can feel connected. And so, these, again, very simple joy tips is something that I hope can bring joy to you as you listen to them. And I hope that you can pass them along to a friend so that they can hear them as well. Now we're mid to late May, and the birds are singing. It's the afternoon, and the birds continue to sing in my yard, and I just love that. I love that in the morning. It tells me that I need to fill up the bird feeder because they love the bird seed, but it tells me that spring is coming, and I love springtime. Springtime and fall are some of my favorite, really the two favorite seasons for me, because again, it's light in the morning when I get up, and so I can enjoy a little peace and quiet. I can enjoy the windows being open. It's a little bit warmer, those birds singing, the squirrels running around in our backyard. So with spring coming, that's what I want to kind of focus on is springtime today. And just a lot of times, many times with my clients, I'll tell them when you change the clocks, it's time to detox. Or when it's time to spring clean, it's time to spring clean and think about, yes, spring cleaning your house, but also perhaps think about your internal house. So I know that if you've been following me for a while, we, about a year and a half ago, we moved to the house that we're in now. And it's a lovely little cottagey style house, less than 1,600 square feet. And we moved from the home about 25 minutes away from us that we raised our kids in. 3,200 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2.5 baths. We put a pool in. It was a lovely home when we built our family there. We raised our kids there. But it was time we just weren't using the space. Our daughter has remained here in Illinois, and so she remains living with us. But all the boys have moved to different states and moved on with their lives. And so we just don't need the space. And as much as we love the home and the pool, it was just time to move on. And it was time to do some cleaning. I mean, when you move from a house that's half the size of your current home, you've got to do some spring cleaning. So we did a lot of cleaning, a lot of giving things away, a lot of selling things, a lot of purging, throwing out. And I have to tell you, as much as it was a lot of work and sometimes very frustrating that people didn't want the things that we had, or the kids didn't want them, or I had beautiful Norman Rockwell paints, or plates, collector plates with the papers and the numbers. I mean, they were beautiful, but nobody wanted them. So I made a donation, and I donated so many things in hopes that someone else would like to enjoy these. I threw a lot of things away. I sold some things, but it was a time of cleaning out and getting rid of. And it felt good. I mean, we knew we couldn't bring the things to this house, but I remember when my husband and I moved here, and then we walked downtown because we live about a half a mile from our downtown. We walked downtown that first weekend after we had moved in, and he said, "Do you feel lighter?" I said, "I do." I mean, I just felt lighter, like spiritually and energetically, because we had gotten rid of so many things. And so we had cleaned our house, but a lot of times we also need to clean our internal house and clean through our thoughts, clean through the things that make us feel heavy. And it might lead to that, things that are perhaps difficult to get rid of, but are really necessary to get rid of. So things like relationships, the person that's kind of draining and it's a complainer and that drains us every time we talk to them. Or maybe that volunteer committee that we've been volunteering for a long time, but it just doesn't feel right anymore. And it's just more of a drain of our energy. And so thinking about cleaning those things out too, making an evaluation of like, where am I giving my energy? Where am I giving my time? And doing some checks there and saying, well, I think it's time to let this go. It's time to perhaps end this relationship, maybe for a little bit, maybe for forever. But doing those, getting rid of that heaviness, that heavy energy can help us feel much lighter. And it also, I believe, opens us up to create more, to have other opportunities come to us, other positive things happen, other people come into our lives that can really bless us and help us feel light and energetic, and perhaps people that we can help as well. So spring is here, spring is coming. So think about that. How can you clean out your house, clean out your closets, but also clean out your internal house too? Somebody mentioned the other day that oftentimes they'll go through their closet and they hang the hangers one way, when they put their clothes back in, and they switch the hangers around the way that they hang them. And if they know that like these clothes that the hangers are just the same one way, they know that they haven't used those in a long time. They haven't worn those clothes. Does that make sense? I mean, people have all kinds of different tricks on how to kind of determine like, am I wearing those clothes or not? I mean, we seem to wear like half of our clothes or 2/3 of our clothes, and the rest just kind of stay there. So sometimes it's time to, clean out our closet too. So an affirmation, a joy affirmation could be, I am releasing what no longer serves me to make room for new growth. I love that. And then a little act of kindness. Think about this. Again, clean out 5 items of clothing that you no longer wear. Donate them to Goodwill. I also love this. I have a resale shop in town that I love to go to. I found a couple of neat clothing items there, but when I brought some clothes home from there a couple months ago, I cleaned out my closet. I said, I don't wear that blouse anymore, and that sweater, I thought I would wear it, I don't. Here's a couple of pair of pants. I took some shoes, and I filled up the bag that I brought home the new items in. I filled that up with things from my closet, and I took it over there. It is a consignment store, so the other day I picked up a check for $38. I mean, it's a little something, but I felt good about releasing those clothes and letting somebody else use them. So, we can donate. Again, we can give to a clothes closet that perhaps is for the needy. We've got a church in the area now that I know of that I can drop off clothes to, and household items and things like that. Or again, maybe go to a local resale shop and drop those off, because then you can perhaps get some, money back for that. And then a wellness tip is I always mention a wellness tip on these joy tips for the week, is because I've been involved with the wellness industry for 25 years and helping people create healthier plans around supplementation and natural products, safe cleaners, safe skincare products, and just products that promote longevity and promote health. So when we think about spring and cleaning, many times we may feel foggy or tired, or we don't feel like what we're eating is doing any good, or we're not feeling like our vitamins are effective. Like sometimes it's time to clean things out. Perhaps it's time to empty the fish tank, as I would say. Perhaps it's time to empty the rain barrel and things like that. And I say that because sometimes it's time to do like a 7-day healthy cleanse. There's so much noise around cleanses and detoxes and resets and things like that. And I'm not a big fan of starving. I'm not a big fan of, again, doing things to a lot of deprivation, because it doesn't lead to health. And it doesn't lead to feeling good. And so a couple of options that we have with Shackley, which is the brand that I represent, we have a 7-day healthy cleanse and we have a 5-day protein reset. What I love about the 7-day healthy cleanse is that it's 7 days of making your own food. And I suggest prepping this at the beginning of the week. And I give you all the recipes. If you're interested, reach out, and there'll be a link in the show notes to how to get over to the 7-day cleanse. But it's basically eating unlimited vegetables, some fruit for 7 days, and then taking some targeted supplements that come in these little sachets that help to target the inside cleansing. So a good probiotic, a liver DTX helps to detox the liver. I mean, our liver is our largest filter in our body. We need to make sure that we're keeping that clean so that it can filter well and detox well. So there's liver detox, a good probiotic. We have alfalfa, which is a great green food, help to combat inflammation, help to get things more in an alkaline state in our body. And then in the evening, same thing in those sachets, but we've also added Herblax, which is a great herbal laxative, just really helps your elimination be more efficient. And when you're doing a reset or a detox, you really want to make sure that you're detoxing and getting rid of all of those toxins too. So that helps things along there. So that's a 7-day healthy cleanse. And then I also love the 5-day protein reset. I was speaking with someone the other day who said, I need to do protein every day. And so she chose the 5-day protein reset. It's so simple. Everything you need comes in a box with one big box that also has 5 boxes in it. So each box is for a day, and you basically just add water. There's things in there that you add water to, like your morning collagen green tea drink, your morning protein shake, some Good Gut and Go, our sparkling protein, protein broth, protein oats. It's very focused on protein. And when you use the products, it's 105 grams of protein a day. So it's a way to, again, cut out the bad things, because we're just drinking and eating what's in those boxes. So we're not having the meats and the alcohol and the sugars and things like that. So it does give our digestive system a bit of time to rest and more easily digest things, even though we have protein, because protein's a little bit more difficult to digest. But in these forms, like in a protein shake, in the protein broth, in the protein oats, it's so much easier to digest those. So it's a really nice reset. People that do either one of the 7-day healthy cleanse or the 5-day protein reset tend to report that they lose a little bit of weight, they lose a few inches, but they're sleeping better. They have better mental acuity. Their brain fog is gone. They just feel better. They have more energy, and it's a good reset. So if you're considering you need a little bit of reset, you're stuck with your trying to lose a little bit of weight or just feel better, just want a little bit of a reset, I would, suggest either one of those products. And if there's anything I can do, if you need some other guidance or some other solutions, please feel free to reach out to me. That's what I do. Again, help to guide people and take that overwhelm out in when we're trying to select products, and making sure that the money that you're spending and the products that you're choosing are the right for you. So that's my joy tip for this week. Again, I wish you the best of health and joy. I'm here to tell you that joy is something that we've got to go after. And as much as I say we look for it out there, look for opportunities that bring you joy and things like that, but joy really is the journey of you, and it's really starts from inside, and making those intentional choices every day to be grateful for what we do have, to connect with other people. It's kind of like my daily 5, being grateful, connect with others, paying attention to our nutrition, making sure that we're moving, and making sure that we're sleeping. So I wish you the best of joy and health in the days ahead. Come back next week, and there'll be another joy tip that I share here. And please share these podcasts. Please rate and review them. That's the way that they get heard by so many others, and we can continue to share and spread joy to those around us. Take care.